Hi, I'm Rita Wilkins, also known as the Downsizing Designer. If you're trying to declutter, I've got 10 easy steps to get you going and help you stay motivated. So, did you know that the number one challenge that people face when they're decluttering their home is just getting started? And that the number two challenge that they face is staying motivated. So congratulations if you have the courage to take those first steps to declutter your home, so that your kids won't have to do that after you're gone, and that you can prepare for a new life and starting over, maybe when you retire, and that you can finally start to enjoy a simpler life with less stuff and less stress. So think of it this way. So you were successful at starting the decluttering journey because you took the time to create a vision for the life that you wanted after you've decluttered. You've also taken the time to create a decluttering plan, a timeline to accomplish those goals, and you've already started to see the fruits of your efforts in the areas that you have decluttered, and it feels great, doesn't it? So what happened to that motivation and that strong, seemingly unstoppable person who was driven to declutter your home, your office and so forth just once and for all? And what happened to that motivation and that strong, seemingly unstoppable person who thought that would never end? So why are you suddenly resisting and procrastinating and finally every imaginable excuse to dedicate your time to things other than decluttering? And why did you, or why did your can-do mindset revert back to that can't-do way of thinking? So what you may not have anticipated or planned for was the possibility that at some point you might hit a roadblock, you might lose momentum, and experience bouts of self-doubt. So having tried and failed many times before, you truly believe this time that you could do it. And the fact of the matter is, you did accomplish quite a bit, of the decluttering. And in a way, you're halfway there. So, but when self-doubt and negative self-talk started, you got overwhelmed again at that daunting task and that you still had ahead of you. Even the best laid plans and aspirations of a clutter-free home seem like a distant dream now. So, and if this has happened to you, know that you're not alone. As a matter of fact, I would venture to say that it happens to all of us at one time or another, because there's that messy middle, and that's when the going gets tough. So we're human, and we lose that initial excitement, the enthusiasm, and drive to reach that finish line. We stop telling ourselves that we can, and instead we're telling ourselves we can't. It's too hard, it's impossible, and then we quit. When you think about it, this same mind game of can and can't applies to just about anything else in life that you've tried to accomplish. So whether it's losing weight, learning a new skill, or training for a marathon. So getting stuck happens to all of us. It's not unusual to take one step forward and then two steps back. So how do you pick yourself up, dust yourself off so you can start all over again? And why would you stop now if you're already halfway there, or even a tenth of the way there? Theodore Roosevelt once said, if you believe you can, you're halfway there. That first step to achieving a goal is to start believing that you can. So if you're truly committed to accomplishing your decluttering goals, and if you truly want to reignite that fire, that drive, that determination to succeed and just follow these 10 steps. So they're pretty simple steps to help you stay motivated on that decluttering journey. So the first one, of course, is to deeply connect with why you want to declutter. So what is the main reason that you want to declutter your home? That reason goes deep down to your core. It might even make you cry. So for an example, you don't want to leave your kids with the enormous emotional task of cleaning your house and all your stuff once you pass away. And that might have been something that happened to you, if your parents died and they left you with stuff. So you have a strong emotional core connection to that reason. The second thing is you dream of a new, lighter lifestyle when you retire, one that won't weigh you down, one that you can experience the freedom that you haven't known for years, and one that will give you more flexibility, mobility, and much less responsibility. So the second step is to recommit to your vision of life after decluttering. Take time to create that vision board that paints that vivid picture of you and your life, what it's going to be like when you're free of clutter, and be very specific. So put it in a place where you can see it each morning, let it inspire you, let it excite you about the new lifestyle that you're going to be living. So examples there might be more time, energy, and freedom to start checking off adventures on that bucket list. The list that your spouse and you or your significant other or your girlfriends have been talking about for a very long time. Another one might be just weekly play dates with your grandchildren, while they're still young and while they still enjoy being with you. So the third step is to acknowledge that you got off track. So you did. So admit it, that you lost enthusiasm when you lost your sight and your vision of what you wanted, and the impact that you'll have once you accomplish your decluttering goals. So identify one or two things that might have triggered getting off track. So maybe it was the emotional impact. Maybe it was the emotional impact of looking at all those family photos. And that's very possible. I just went through that with my brother when we were downsizing his apartment. Very emotional, and for sure, it is possible that you would get off track. So acknowledge that, and then just try to get yourself back on track, because the emotional impact is real. So feel those feelings. Number 4 is to celebrate your wins, both big and small. So acknowledge yourself for the progress that you have made, the one that might just feel like a drop in the bucket right now, but reminding yourself of those wins will inspire you and motivate you to get started once again. And take time to recall what worked before, why you were able to accomplish your goal of decluttering in the last, and at least a few of the areas that before you got stuck. So an example was there was a specific decluttering method that you were able to fit into your daily routine. The burst method, where you might just try to accomplish something in 15 to 30 minutes of decluttering each day. So number 5 is to identify when you started to lose interest in decluttering and when you began to get off track. So example would be the naysayers. There might be people in your life who discouraged you. They didn't support your efforts, and they weren't at all supportive of your goals. So the second one might be emotional triggers. Things that triggered you might be strong emotions or memories, both good and bad, that took you off your game. So it could be family photos, love letters from someone that is either deceased or no longer your partner. Sometimes deceased spouse clothing, just seeing that, it's a trigger, and that might stop you. The other one is distractions, so devices and technology that take your attention away from decluttering. They cause you to lose focus. They steal time from your task at hand, and they negatively impact your momentum, your productivity. So, for instance, social media, the internet, phone calls, all of those things will possibly get you off track. So identify those. Number 6 is have a step-by-step plan in place for overcoming those obstacles and setbacks when they do occur, and they will occur. So create a plan that includes the following. So review your vision every single day. Remind yourself of why decluttering matters so much to you. and reduce the overwhelm by calling a friend to support you. If you want, take a weekend off from the decluttering. It's not going to hurt you. And then start back small in a high impact area that really bothers you a lot. Could be like a mud room or something that's always messy, and just try to declutter that so that the messes don't come back. Then embrace your imperfection. Decluttering is messy. It's not perfect. It's a messy process. And then alternate decluttering methods. So the burst method, the category method, the room by room method, the sorting method, each one of these methods you're going to find are very useful. But if you lack time, then certainly a burst method where you only have to declutter for 10 or 15 minutes at a time could definitely help you stay on track. So then another thing is to track your weekly progress, take before and after pictures, and then when you score quick wins, that one shelf, that one drawer, one closet, celebrate. Take care of yourself, smile, try to enjoy that journey, maybe have a glass of wine. And number 7 is reframe your thinking from can't to can. So when you identify that negative self-talk, I always think of a whack-a-mole. When you whack that thing back down again, every time that negative thought comes up, just whack it back down and immediately reframe those negative thoughts into positive and useful thoughts. I can succeed. I will succeed. I want this so badly. It's worth all the hard work. And then take a deep breath. Each time you hear something negative, break that cycle of negative self-talk by being patient with yourself. It takes time. What you're trying to do eventually is to create a habit that will, so that you're no longer controlled by the negative thoughts that have taken you off track in the past. Number 8 is surround yourself with people who believe in you and who will support you. Engage a team of people who will be your accountability partners, who will support you, good times and bad, and who will help you stay on track. They'll be there to celebrate with you the wins, and they'll be there to help you get back in the game when you face your setbacks. Number 9 is to stay in the moment. So focus on one thing that you're working on right now. One drawer, one shelf, one closet. And complete that task before you move on to the next. So progress begets progress. Complete that task before moving on to the next. That's so important because otherwise we get distracted. We go from one closet to one drawer, and then nothing ever seems to get done. And the last one to help you stay on track and help you get started is to have some fun while you're decluttering. So decluttering is hard work for sure, both physically and mentally, but it didn't happen overnight, so it's not going to go away overnight. It's a journey that will take time. Discover ways to have fun along the way. So examples of that might be to have a decluttering party. Work for a few hours with some close friends, not too many at a time because it gets chaotic. And then enjoy a nice dinner, a glass of wine together, and share some of the funny stories that happened during that decluttering time. The second one might be to have fun watching things disappear from your driveway. This is really comical. You just put a big bag of free stuff at the end of your driveway and put a big sign out there, and it's just kind of fun to watch them disappear rather quickly. And then play your favorite music, listen to an audiobook, or enjoy podcasts that you've been waiting to listen to. Learn and have fun while you declutter. If you've tried to declutter your home but got off track, and if you've lost that energy and motivation to go that distance, don't give up. Start believing you can, and you're halfway there. So as challenging as the decluttering journey might be, you'll learn so much about yourself along the way, and when you look back, you'll say, wasn't it worth it?